Hey everyone, today I'm going to be going through my process of designing some Paradox Pokemon. Paradox Pokemon were revealed in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as a new subset of legendaries, and they resemble different species as they would look in the past or the future, respectively. As of filming this video, there are 16 Paradox Pokemon, with Paradox versions of Amoonguss, Jigglypuff, Donphan, Mischievous, Volcarona, Magneton, Salamence, and Suicune existing in Scarlet, and Paradox versions of Donphan, Volcarona, Delibird, Hariyama, Hydreigon, Tyranitar, Gardevoir, and Gallade, and Virizion in Violet. With the latest announcement of the Teal Mask and the Indigo Disc as Scarlet and Violet DLC, I'd imagine more Paradox forms are on their way, and it'd be cool to see who will be reimagined next. In this video, I tackle 4 different Pokemon and explore the idea of what some Paldean Paradox Pokemon could look like. Let's get into it. The first concept I decided to tackle was a past Paradox form for one of my new favorite Paldean Pokemon, Tinkaton. The Tinkaton line is one that I'm really drawn to in both concept and gameplay, and I think it'd be really cool to see this fan favorite get even more love with a new form. When coming up with an idea for her, I immediately thought of turning her hammer into a caveman's club, and went from there. I love the lore of Tinkaton hating Corviknight, and I wanted to continue that Predator narrative in its past form. In the final render, you'll see that Pummelpuff's club is constructed of Runerigus bones, and it is wearing a tunic made out of what resembles Roaring Moon feathers. I also decided to lean into the caveman aesthetic even more with adding a bone motif helmet, and by keeping her tongue out of her mouth, mostly to look cute, but also to show that it has a few millennia to go before it becomes as intelligent as Tinkaton. This simple-minded creature resembles one called Pummelpuff, as depicted in the Scarlet Book, and bears a striking resemblance to Tinkaton. The paintings on its club resemble Runerigus, leading researchers to believe that the two are somehow related. Roaring Moon fear this creature. I decided on the name Pummelpuff because it felt like a perfect description of it's both cute and friend-shaped, but has an obvious malintent as seen on what it's wearing and what it's holding. It's ground and fairy type as well, keeping the fairy type from Tinkaton and getting ground due to her giant club. For the next Paradoxmon, I knew I wanted to create one for Lopunny. Lopunny is one of those Pokemon that can be really polarizing. You either love it or hate it, and I am someone who loves it. I think it's a really fun design, and I love how girly and cute she is, and her Mega Evolution is one of my favorite Mega Evolutions. I've also used her on both my Platinum and Legends Arceus teams, and I'm always impressed at its diverse moveset, so with all that in mind, I knew I wanted to give her some love. The future Paradox forms are all just the robot version of the Pokemon that they're based on, and that's the route I took with this one as well. I wanted her to look like if the future somehow made a synthetic pop star Pokemon inspired by like Hatsune Miku and Blackpink. I played with a bunch of different color palettes for her and ultimately settled on one that didn't include the original brown, which is what a lot of the Violet Paradox Pokemon do, but I thought that the silver and pink combo just felt like it fit the idol aesthetic more overall anyway. This Pokemon resembles the creature Iron Idol as described in a paranormal magazine. Many researchers believe it to be a Lopunny from a distant future. It's been observed to perform frequently and loves the sound of a cheering audience. I'm not a fan of using the word iron in all of the Violet Paradox forms, but I used it in this one anyway just to keep it more authentic to what the actual games are. Overall, I really like this design. I think it's cool, and I would probably use one. And it is also normal fairy type because while I think that fairy and steel would probably work better, all the Paradox Pokemon as of right now include one of the types that are in the Pokemon that they're based on. So Lopunny is only a normal type, so she had to be a normal type. And the design overall just felt like it leaned itself more towards fairy than steel. Munna is one of those Pokemon that I think a lot of people forget about, but it's actually in my top 6 favorite of all time. When it was released in black and white, I immediately fell in love with it and have loved it ever since. Its design is really simple and I love how cute it is, but I also really love the lore of it eating bad dreams, and I wanted to further that concept in its paradox form. Also, I knew that I wanted to create a paradox form for an unevolved Pokemon, like some of the Scarlet Paradoxes do, with Sandy Shocks, Screamtail, and Fluttermane, and I think that Munna could fit in with those really well. Munna's design is really simple, so I looked towards Musharna for some inspiration and remembered its weird, kind of gross psychic energy that comes out of its nose. Made me wonder what a past Munna could look like with a similar motif, so I came up with the idea to have Paradox Munna create clouds of smoke out of its mouth that put surrounding Pokemon to sleep. So rather than eating their dreams, past Munna puts her enemies to sleep. Slumberslug is an ancient creature that seems to be a distant relative of Munna. It is said that it releases toxins that petrify surrounding Pokemon, allowing it to gather berries freely without predators. I love poison types, and Slumberslug's noxious gas felt like the perfect fit for it. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this design. I think of the 4 in this video, it's my least favorite, but there is a lot I do like. The horns are cool, and adding the extra legs and trippy flower pattern kept it feeling primal while still related to Munna. For my final Paradox design, I went back to Paldea and chose my favorite of the new Pokemon that were released in Gen 9, being Bellibolt. I love this thing. I've drawn it multiple times, and I'm already planning on drawing him a couple more times for different projects. It is everything that I love in a Pokemon design. He is weird, cute, in like a kind of ugly way. He's silly, he's fat, and then on top of that, it's really strong. I used one on my Violet team and it carried me throughout the entire game all the way up until the final battle and the end credits. I really love Bellibolt, and I knew I wanted to see what a future form could look like. My initial idea was to base the design off of a space heater. It's really cold where I live right now, so one would definitely come in handy, and the fire electric type is a type we've only seen once in Rotom Heat, and I think that a Paradox Pokemon would be the perfect candidate for the dual typing. The core on Bellibolt's belly also lends itself really well to looking like some sort of space-age conductor, so the idea came together pretty quickly. Scientists believe Iron Core uses the heat core in its belly to warm the frozen landscapes of a future ice age. Present-day Bellibolt envy and despise this creature, avoiding it at all costs. So these are my 4 Paradox Pokemon designs: Pummelpuff, Iron Idol, Slumberslug, and Iron Core. Of the 4, I think I'd have to say my top 2 are Pummelpuff and Iron Core, but like I said earlier on, I do really like all of them. If I had to add one to my team, though, it would probably be, I want to say Pummelpuff, but I think it would be Iron Core just because it's Bellibolt. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite and if I should make any more. I need to start making more videos because I spent money on video editing software, so I need to use it. Any Pokemon design or any art related at all suggestions are super appreciated. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.